The Chicago Bears, Walter Payton. Sweetness, thank you for touching us all. That pretty well says it.
If everyone that plays this game would look and say, how should I play it? I ought to play it the way Walter Payton played it.
Throughout this day, we'll be honoring Walter and cherishing the memories that we have of the great number 34 of the Bears. We did 32 of his games.
Yeah, over the years, we did so many of those games, and and he was so much fun to watch because he did it all. I mean, he would run, and he would catch, and he would throw, and he would block, and he would tackle, and he was just a complete football player.
Glenn Milburn gets the opening kickoff. Milburn out to the 35-36. Let's look at the Bears offense. It'll be led by Cade McNown, the rookie from UCLA. And his offensive line is doing a good job. Blake Brockermeyer, Todd Perry, Villarreal, James Williams, the big cat at right tackle, Enos, Ty Halleck, Ingram, Robinson, and Alonzo Mays. Cade McNown, he's left-handed. Nothing doing as Enos is hit by Butler. And let's look at the Green Bay defense now. They've been under fire, as well as the offense, as well as the coaching staff, as well as Brett Favre. That's the front four. Gilbert Brown, there was some question about whether he'd be able to start and play. He is starting, he is playing. Jude Waddy, Bernardo Harris, and George Kuhn. William Sharper, Butler, and McKenzie in the secondary. Here's McNown back to throw it. Up the middle to Milburn. Flag on the play. The ball is loose. The Bears fall on it.
It was interesting, Pat. You can really see what the Packers are thinking defensively here. They want to gang up on the run on first down, and that's exactly what they did. They got that 8th man up there, and Leroy Butler, he made the first tackle for a loss right at the line of scrimmage, just beyond the line of scrimmage. Then on second down, now they get second along, they go to a 3-man line, and you can see that they're in the 3-man line on third down, too. So play run hard on first down, pass on second and long and third.
There was no penalty. Macy Brooks makes the catch and gets the first down for the Bears from McNown.
Cade McNown looks pretty calm back there. You see, we were talking about the packages that the Bears like. You see, they put 3 wide receivers over here, 2 wide receivers here, and the only one they have in the whole backfield is the quarterback, Cade McNown. So then this is the throw to the left side, the side of the 2 wide receivers.
Enos over the left side, stopped right at the line of scrimmage. There was no penalty on that play a few plays ago. They picked up the flag, so there was no penalty. The Bears operate quickly. They get a lot of plays in. So if there's something like that, and there really is no delay, they get a play run in a hurry.
Yeah, and you can see again on that last first down, the Packer defense going to gang up on that run on first down and then play a little softer or pass defense or nickel on second and third.
Second and 10, McNown to throw. Looking, and he can run. He's a good runner. Incomplete. Had a man. Ingram was open. He just couldn't find him.
What they're trying to do is get Cade McNown to stay in the pocket and read his progression. and then after you read your progression, if there's nothing there or you get flushed, then you go and you run. Because earlier this is the third game he started, but earlier what he would do is he would start to run before he read his progression. And he said he'd like to read his progression while he runs, but once you start to run, then that's the end of your progression. Then they go into a scramble mode.
McNown under pressure. Couldn't find anybody. I think trying to set up a screen, Leroy Butler put the heat on.
The screens are getting tougher and tougher now. You know, it used to be that the lineman would continue to rush the passer. Now the closest guy to the quarterback continues to rush, and every other defender peels off. And that's exactly what happened on that play, because the Packers had two defensive linemen between McNown and the screen guy.
Sauerbrunn back to punt it, and Desmond Howard deep for Green Bay. He's going to stay away from it. The Bears down at about the 24-yard line. And the Packers and Brett Favre get a chance to take over, and Favre is back in Green Bay at Lambeau Field. And as we mentioned a moment ago, Brett Favre is starting his 117th consecutive game at quarterback for the Packers. And that is a remarkable achievement, especially the way he plays.
Yeah, and Ron Jaworski is tied with that record with him until right now. When this ball is snapped by Frank Winters, right here, Brett Favre will break the record.
The record is his, and the pass is complete to his tight end, Tyrone Davis. And now Brett, who was talking yesterday, Ron Jaworski, who is on hand to congratulate Brett Favre. And for a while he said, his record doesn't mean anything to me. But he says the more I think about it, the more it means. Not as much as a victory perhaps today and getting things back on track, but here he comes.
They're going to give Brett Favre the ball now, and he's going to come over and shake hands and give a hug to Ron Jaworski. I'll tell you, to do something like this, you have to be special. You have to be really do. You have to be mobile. You have to play under a lot of pain. You have to be a real good player just to be a starter that long.
You talk about being mobile. Jaworski was sacked about 160 more times than Favre has been sacked when he put together that streak originally. That just shows you something about Favre's mobility and escapability.
See that wristband that we talked about earlier? It says check downs on both sides. That means those little short passes to the back.
Levens. Right now, let's go down to the sideline. DJ Johnson.
I'm down here with former Eagles quarterback Ron Jaworski. Ron, you just passed the torch to Brett Favre. What'd you guys say out there?
Well, I said good luck and stay healthy, and obviously that's the key to playing 117 straight games. And Brett Favre is one tough customer. It's great to see him out there battling through a very tough time health-wise in his career.
As tough as that position is, did you ever think that record would be broken, honestly?
Not in today's game. They're bigger, faster, stronger, and quicker and meaner, DJ.
I know that feeling. Thanks a lot, John.
Thank you.
Back to you.
Favre comes out of there. I'm not so sure they're meaner. Are you?
No, and they're not all bigger either. You know, some positions like defensive backs have really gotten smaller, but I'll tell you, they are strong, and you know, because they lift weights and do all those things, and they hit, and then you play in artificial turf and all those things. This is a tough game, and to play it, you got to be a tough person. They all are tough, and then to have a record like Brett Favre just broke is pretty admirable.
Well, you think about Jaworski breaking that record or setting that record on artificial turf, and in Philadelphia, that's as hard as a brick. This field must be hard too. They like him, and we were very much impressed.
He sure stays on an even keel, doesn't he?
He really does. McNown. Incomplete, intended for Ingram.
See, this is one of the things that the Bears saw. You know, we talked about earlier that what the Packer defense was going to do was gang up on that first down run. So then the Bears come out and said, if you're going to be up there and you're going to gang up on the first down run, what we're going to do is come back and throw on first down.
McNown's limping around a little bit.
Watch this. I mean, if Gilbert Brown taps you, he's going to knock you down, and you're going to get up limping.
Pitch back to Edgar Bennett. Ex-Packer, stopped by Bernardo Harris.
You know, Bernardo Harris is really coming along as a middle linebacker. I mean, you can just see him getting more and more comfortable at that position. And then you'll be able to read, because the quicker as a middle linebacker, the quicker you get that initial read, the quicker you can get that first step. And it's all about initial read and first step in being a great middle linebacker.
Now the Packers go with their nickel package. 4-man front, 3-man rushers. High snap gets away from McNown, who wisely just falls on it.
Well, those are the things that those centers worry about.
Yep.
We were talking to Frank Winters about that, and and saying, how do you like the shotgun? And he said, it's okay, but the only thing that you worry about is that snap.
And that was a wild one.
Yeah, and you hope that snap comes out at 3 o'clock, and when it comes out at 12 o'clock, then you got your quarterback going backwards.
That was a little bit past midnight.
That's where you don't want to you don't want to snap that thing at midnight.
Sauerbrunn gets off a good kick. Desmond Howard will have a chance. Not much happening. The Bear coverage is good. Here is Zuma. The rookie they're very high on. Makes the stop.
Like a brother. He'll be missed by all of us.
Nothing at Lambeau Field. The Bears Packers. 1st and 10, Green Bay on their own 43. Favre. Jeff Thomason makes the catch. The second tight end who struggles for first down. Here's the Packer offense led by Brett Favre. 117 consecutive starts. Joe Andruzzi starts at left guard. Winters, the longtime center. Levens and Henderson in the backfield. Schrader and Antonio Freeman wide, and Tyrone Davis. Davis through his hands. Let's look at the Bear defense now. For the most part, a 4-man front. Van Tuene starting. Wells, Flanagan, Brian Robinson. The linebackers, Barry Minter, Sean Harris, and Ricardo McDonald. And in the secondary, Cousins, Hudson, Parrish, and Harris.
Terry Cousins starting for Tom Carter. And there's no injury to Tom Carter. Talking about injuries, though, Pat, Cade McNown is over there on the sideline. He's on the cart, and they look like they're looking at his right leg. I see on the sideline that they're warming up with their third quarterback, Jim Miller. And I'm not sure if they're going to take Cade McNown in or just work on that right knee on that side. But
he was hit by Gilbert Brown, as you pointed out. That's a pretty heavy hit.
Yeah, and it looked like he had his foot planted, and Gilbert Brown just torqued him.
Schrader from Favre, the slant.
These are the types of things that Brett Favre throws so well, and the Packers as well. Just come right in here and run that slant. You just come up a little, then you get inside, show the quarterback your numbers. That's exactly what Schrader did, and then Brett Favre just guns it in there right between the 8 and the 4.
Favre again. Incomplete. Let's go down to D.J. Johnson for a second.
Yeah, I'm not on camera. I'm down here with Cade McNown, and Cade is sitting here, and he says he has problems moving from side to side, and that's when he's feeling the pain. Walking straight, it seems not to bother him too much, but when he goes from side to side, he said he's feeling the pain. Back to you, Pat.
All right, Cade McNown will have to wait and see if he comes back. This is Levin.
It's interesting, Pat, with Cade McNown, if he can't come back, as we said, then Jim Miller is warming up. and they don't have a third quarterback. Shane Matthews, of course, isn't active today, so they list their third quarterback as Marty Booker, who is a rookie wide receiver. In fact, they're just telling us right now that Cade McNown is out for the game. So Jim Miller will be the quarterback, and he will be the only quarterback other than the emergency quarterback, wide receiver Marty Booker.
Favre changing the plays, puts man in motion, stands in the pocket, swings it back across, close to a first down to Antonio Freeman.
This is one of the things that Brett Favre was talking about yesterday is having to get the ball to Antonio Freeman. On Monday night, he only caught 2 passes, and everyone said, where was Freeman? And Brett Favre thought that they were trying to throw too many deep passes to him. And he said, if you look at Antonio Freeman, he doesn't have a lot of speed, but he's a strong guy, he's a good target, and he runs well after he catches the ball.
They waited a while, but they finally moved the chains, and that indicates Packer first down.
And you can see on that graphic there that he's thrown 4 times to his tight end today, which was one of the goals of the Packers.
That's Levin. To the 20.
The other goal of the Packers is to get Dorsey Levens to run, and he's something, you know, as a teammate, you know that he's going to get better as the game goes on. And as an opponent, they probably know it too. You know, because if you look at Dorsey Levens, you always kind of start slowly. And then, you know, not very good in the first quarter, not very good in the second quarter, but then in that second half, he really comes on.
Levens is a big guy, good pass receiver, in very good shape. Remember last year he missed part of the year with a broken leg. Inside the 20, about the 19. Van Tuene made the stop.
Yeah, I think part of it is he gets a little stronger, and then the other thing is that the defense starts to get a little tired, because you just look at him. In the first quarter, he's 2.8 average. Second quarter, 2.6. Then look what happens at halftime. You know, I don't know what he eats or drinks, but then he goes 5.7 in the third quarter, and then 4.7 in the fourth quarter.
Here goes McNown, headed for the Bear locker room. Hard drops. Goes high over the head of Corey Bradford.
I'll tell you one thing, Brett Favre, you know, that was an incomplete pass, and they're going to have to try a field goal here, but he is quickening everything up today. I mean, he's getting back, his drops are quicker, he's getting rid of the ball quicker, he's getting back and having that thing flying out of there, which really means if you're doing that the pass patterns are also shorter.
From 38 yards away, Longwell will try to put the Packers on the board and ahead. That's plenty long enough. And that's good enough. 3-0. At Lambeau, Glenn Milborn is the man the Bears would like to handle the ball. And he does. Steps out of bounds at about the 9-yard line. That's not what you have in mind.
He took a shot from the side. He said he felt it immediately. He knew something was wrong. Moments before that, as the trainers told him that he wasn't going back in, as you would expect, Cade threw back his head in frustration, put his hand over his face, and just sort of gave a, oh, man. Now, the problem for the Bears becomes the backup quarterback. Preparation. Backup quarterbacks always don't get a lot of reps in practice. Back to you, Pat.
All right, DJ. Jim Miller. Then the quarterback.
Jim Miller did come in for Cade McNown.
Right.
Cade McNown started against Tampa Bay, and Jim Miller came in this year, and you can see that you know what he did there. He threw for 117 yards, and that was in August 24th against the Buccaneers. I remember back in '96 when he started for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah.
There was a big thing there. He was with Pittsburgh, and Jim Miller was the talk of the preseason, and he was going to be the starting quarterback.
In fact, Bill Cowher named him the starting quarterback.
He did, and he started the first game, and I think it was against Jacksonville, and then he was replaced by Mike Tomczak,
right,
the old Chicago Bear quarterback. And he didn't play for 7 or 8 more games after that. But I remember in '96, he was the talk of the preseason. They thought he was going to be one.
the ball carrier. Straight ahead up to the 40 and a first down Bears.
This is one of the guys that Dick Geron was telling us about last night, that he wanted to get him in the game more, that he wanted to get the ball to him because he thinks that he has some explosiveness. And you see the way he gets in the hole, and he got in there quickly, got out of there quickly, and had a pretty good look and a pretty good feel of what was going on.
This time it's Milburn, the deep back, and he gets the carry, and he gets into the secondary, past midfield, and another Bear first down. Benson made the tackle.
Hey, the Bears are giving him some change of pace here, but they go from a Curtis Enos to a James Allen to a Glenn Milburn, and Milburn is usually the pass receiving running back to the Bears. You see there, a pretty good block by the center, Cruz.
It's Allen again, the deep back this time. Miller fakes to him. Incomplete. Intended for Marcus Robinson. Miller was a backup quarterback in Detroit and in Jacksonville.
And one of the things that a backup quarterback has to be able to do is to get ready when you think you're not going to play. I mean, just a couple of weeks ago, Shane Matthews was a starting quarterback. Cade McNown was a backup. Jim Miller was a third. So you don't get any practice at all.
No reps.
Not even run the scout team. Because Cade McNown was running the scout team when Shane Matthews was starting.
Miller, incomplete.
But you have
deep shot to Robinson.
No, but I was just saying, but you have to continue. You have to study. You have to, get ready on your own. I've always thought with all the coaches in football, you know how these teams all have big coaching staffs.
Some of them have 16, 17.
Right, and if they would just have one quarterback coach that would just be the backup quarterback coach, and he would coach that second and third guy, and he would, just to get them work, because they can't even ask questions or anything. That looked way too easy.
Didn't it, though?
When Dick Geron was telling us, he said, when Milburn is in there, he's part of the equation. He's going to get the ball. You usually think as a pass receiver. That time he was behind his big tackle, Blake Brockermeyer. They were running down the field. Watch him here as he breaks loose, and here comes Brockermeyer. He just chases him here. Brockermeyer can't find anyone to block. Sharper's going back. And Milburn says, enough of you, Brockermeyer. I got to get the heck out of here and get going and score a touchdown.
The extra point is good by Chris Bonio. Milburn, a former Green Bay, just scored on a 49-yard touchdown run, the Bears' longest run this year.
That was a delay off there to the left side. When he bounces out there, there's no Packer defense. Watch the Packer defense here.
All via the run.
Watch number 81 come in there, Pat. Little Bobby Ingram.
Yeah.
They say he's the smallest receiver they got, but you don't have to be big to make a block to spring a back for a touchdown.
Anytime you get a long run, you get a good block from a wide receiver.
If you break down all the long runs in any area of football, there will be a block by a wide receiver.
Chris Bonio kickoff comes down to Desmond Howard, and Desmond Howard gets past the 20, but just barely. Jerry Azuma down to make the stop.
Jerry Azuma is one of those guys that Dick Geron really likes too. Not only as special teams, but as a receiver. He was a running back. He was a running back in college, and then they moved him to defensive back, and he's a backup corner, and he plays nickel back, and he thinks that he is really going to be a good defensive
He said
back.
he can be a star in this league. 7-3 Chicago. That's Levin. No place to go. Barry Minter up to make a stop, and that's Barry Minter slowed to get up.
That was one of the things that the Bears were talking about last night with Dorsey Levin, is that you have to get penetration and you have to get across here. You see play on this side of the line of scrimmage right here. Don't let him get squared. Don't let him get started. Don't let him get into your backfield. And that was great defense by the Bears on that play.
Barry Minter was hit in a head-to-head collision with one of his own players, and he's out of the game, and Holman has taken his place. 11. Chris Hudson up to make the stop this time.
Tell you one thing, the Packers, you know, you would think coming off a Monday night embarrassment that they would have a lot of life and enthusiasm and maybe even a little anger on defense, but they really don't look that way. I mean, they look like, especially on defense on that last drive, they look like they're sleepwalking a little. I mean, the starting quarterback is out, the backup quarterback is out, the third quarterback comes in and takes him and drives the length of the field.
3 wide receivers this time for the Packers. Favre the blitz, chases him out of the pocket. Up the field to Corey Bradford, who shook away from the defenders as Favre scrambled. He found him. Brett Favre is a tough guy.
Yeah, he is banged up. I've never seen him wear that left wristband before with the plays. You see what he does. I mean, he just has that quickness. Van Tuene was in there.
Defense, number 98.
They call a penalty on that play.
Roughness, 15 yards.
Brian Robinson.
Yeah, well, he hit him out of bounds, and then
not really. He was in bounds when he hit him.
Yeah, but he knocked him all the way to that to the bench back there.
I don't know where else you're going to knock him. Let's look at this again.
Here comes Robinson. You're going to see he's faking there. You're right. He hit him inbounds, but I think what they had to call it, he hit him for hit him after he throws it through the ball.
It has to be yes. Levens gets about 8 or 9. The Bears said they were going to get after Favre.
Well, you look what they've done so far. They've sacked him 1 time. They hurried him twice. They've knocked him down 3 times. And again, on that 15-yard penalty, Brian Robinson really knocked him. I mean, he was
really
in
did.
bounds. He knocked him out of bounds into the bench, but it was after Brett Favre threw the ball.
Flag on the play. Somebody moved too quickly.
Before the snap, ball start on the offense. Number 72, 5 yards, remaining, second down.
Earl Dotson.
Oh, Earl Dotson, what a week he had last week. On Monday night, he had 2 15-yard penalties in a row for pushing, or hitting, or swinging. Got ejected from the game.
Got fined by the league and by the club.
Yeah, $10,000 we know. He got fined by the league. We don't know what the club is finding.
Ray Rhodes wouldn't say. We asked him yesterday. He said he was fined, but he would not designate the amount. 11. Right now, for an update, let's return to James Brown in Los Angeles.
John Madden.
Score at Lambeau Field is 7-3. It's 3rd and 6, Green Bay. 7-3 Bears, that is. Favre back to throw it. Screen pass or a dump pass out to William Henderson, who slipped down.
You know, that's one of the things. We look at the left wrist there of Brett Favre, and he has that note on there that says checkdowns, and I think checkdowns are fine, but not on 3rd down. I mean, you know, that, okay, you got that, you've gotten rid of the ball quickly, you've done all those things, and now I think you have to start getting the ball down the field a little.
Not a check down on 3rd and 7, certainly.
No, and I think sometimes you start looking for those things, and that becomes the bad news. You get enamored with it, and then you forget to get the ball down the field, which is the way you get big chunks of yards.
Ag yards. Milburn back deep. And the Bears will take over at about their own 19-yard line. They lead 7 in Green Bay. It's unusually warm, bright and sunny, very little wind.
Yeah, and so far it hasn't felt like a Packer-Bear game either.
It's Curtis Enos. A couple of yards.
You know, in that last series, Pat, the touchdown drive, look at this drive with 3 different backs. Curtis Enos, then James Allen, and then, of course, Glenn Milburn with the big one.
49-yard touchdown run. 2nd and 9. Their season average,
90. Instead, they have 87 already.
Almost to the average. Miller, incomplete and picked off by the Packers. The spare receiver fell down. And the Packers come up with the interception.
Happened to rookie Mike McKenzie.
Yep. He's not going to let it go either.
Yeah, I mean, he's looking in there. He's feeling that. Here's McKenzie here. And watch him. He's going to bump, and he's looking in at the quarterback. And part of the receiver falling down was Mike McKenzie bumping him down.
Yeah.
Because in the first 5 yards, you can hit him. He gives him a good jam, comes off of that jam, and makes the interception.
Intended for Marcus Robinson.
And Marcus Robinson is a big guy, too. And Mike McKenzie just got right up on there and then jammed him. I don't know that Jim Miller, once he saw that jam, probably should have thrown the ball away or gone to another receiver.
Favre. Freeman to the 10.
These are the types of things that Brett Favre was talking about that he wanted to do to Antonio Freeman, is not trying to get him deep all the time, but get him on the slants, get him on the hook, and that's what this is going to be. It's just a hook that he's just going to come up and just sit down right here in his zone. Get him on this thing. Now he's big and strong, and he turns, and let him run after the catch, because that is one of the strengths of Antonio Freeman.
Evans to the 3. Flag on the play.
Good block by the right guard, Marco Rivera. Sometimes you run to the left, and the right side of the offensive line helps it out. There's going to be holding on the Packers. But Marco Rivera led that play, and Dorsey Levens got right in behind him.
Offense, number 62. 10-yard penalty remains. First down.
Marco Rivera.
That was the guy that I just said made a good block. Maybe it was a hold, and you're going to see. Here's a right guard. He's going to pull to this side and make a block. Now, I saw the block. Now, watch him come right here, and he's going to turn up and make the block right there. Yep, he did hold with his right hand. Then his left hand. Then he had a takedown. No wonder it looks like such a good block from up here.
Good technique.
Well, Marco Rivera really held with both of his hands.
First and 14.
Favre is just getting a little too anxious, and he's forcing things in there. I mean, you have to let things develop, and if they're not there, you just have to throw them away.
There's nobody there.
He goes play pass, and he just has double coverage there. Chris Hutchins just jumped right in front of it. Boom.
7-3. The Bears take over at their own 20. Miller is their quarterback.
He threw an interception his last pass, and Brett Favre comes in and throws one.
Going to try again.
And he got him that
interception. This one by Sharper. Darren Sharper gets it back to the 30.
This is amazing. Miller throws an interception. Favre gets the ball. He comes back, throws an interception. Miller gets the ball again. He throws an interception. And now there's a flag
on the other side of the field.
Way over on the other side. So it can't be on this. It can't be on Tyrone Williams here.
Before the interception, illegal hands to the face on the defense, number 34. 5-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
That was Mike McKenzie who made the interception before when they were throwing to Marcus Robinson. He may have done the same thing. Remember, we saw that jam there. Now they're saying that he hit to the face, and that was on the other side. The interception was on this side. Let's see if we can look. It would be right up here. And then you see that jam? It's a left hand, hits him right in the face.
Yep. And the flag, he hasn't thrown the flag yet.
I didn't see the official was right there, and he didn't throw it at that time.
Enos for about 8 right now for an update. Let's return to James Brown in Los Angeles.
Admiral and John Mack.
Second, about 1.5 yards.
Bet they're saying, let's just go back and stay with this running game here for a while.
Worked pretty well. That's Enos who lost maybe yardage. Maybe a half yard.
Well, anytime you have to run, the Packers are going to have that 8th guy up there, and that 8th guy is Leroy Butler. And When you get Leroy Butler up there and becomes that extra guy, he's going to be right in on the tackle. You see 36 there, he's the guy that gets the penetration. Now, you usually play the run with 7. When you overcommit, you bring your safety up. He becomes the 8th guy, and when that's Leroy Butler, he can be destructive.
Miller drops up the middle to John Allred. And that's enough for a Bear first down. He didn't catch that many.
I'm impressed with Jim Miller. I mean, you know, that he did throw the interception and come back and threw another one. But I think if they just, you know, give him a very conservative plan here, run the ball, but maybe run more on second down. First down is tough. Maybe throw some simple passes on first down, then go back to the run on second down.
4 wideouts this time. Shotgun formation. Miller drops. Screen pass. Got it to Enos. And Enos got to about the 47, 48-yard line.
That was a heck of a play by Jim Miller because Bonnie Holiday was coming right down on him.
Next week is a Fox NFL Sunday doubleheader. First, Chris Carter and the Vikings battle the Bears. Then 2 of the most dominant teams of the 90s clash as the Packers try to shut down the Cowboys in Dallas. Coverage begins at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific here on Fox.
Now, if the Packers are going to remain to be dominant, they better start going.
Yep.
Look at this. Dallas has won 8 out of the 9 games that they've played in the 90s, and that includes the postseason.
For a while, the Packers just couldn't get anything going in Dallas.
Remember Mike Holmgren? They used to drive him crazy.
Yeah.
I always wondered why they always had to play in Dallas.
James Allen didn't get much.
See, and that's exactly what the Bears' plan was. Run on first down, and then, pass on first down, and then get a little yardage, and come back and run on second down. But again, that didn't work either.
Jude Waddy made the stop.
Jude Waddy starting for Brian Williams, who's out for the season. Again, you see that they are ganging up on that run, and they also played that second down run there. They played that with an 8-man front. Empty backfield, 3 wide receivers up on top, 2 wide receivers down here.
There is no blitz. Miller goes to Marcus Robinson, hit him in the hands, but he was stretched out and couldn't hang on.
It was good coverage by Tyrone Williams. What they tried to do was get everyone on the right side and kind of isolate Robinson on this side. And you just watch Tyrone Williams. He's running, stays inside. Now, the big thing that he does is he turns back and looks for the ball. Then not only looks for the ball, locates it, and then knocks it down with his left hand.
Good throw by Miller. Sauerbrunn with Desmond Howard deep. Howard lets it go. It takes a fair bounce, and they down it at the 3-yard line. Frankie Smith downs it.
Exhibition was maybe as good as I've ever seen a guy with a football under his arm play.
1993 Hall of Fame enshrinee, The Great Sweetness. Favre to Levin. Gets some breathing room, run out of bounds by Parrish, but outside the 20, about the 23.
Yeah, the Bears' 2 tackles play very well, and they had everything taken care of in here, and they get a little soft spot out here. They knock the linebacker down, and then they're able to, boom, to get outside of him.
First down, Green Bay. Brett Favre's team at about the 23. He's changing the play. He better hurry. 11. Maybe he should not have changed the play. Right now, for an update, let's return to James Brown in Los Angeles.
Sharp play by TD pass. St. Louis back on top by 2. Back to Pat Summerall. John Madden.
Those Rams.
Well, you don't know. I mean,
a lot of things you don't. A lot of people you don't hear about that much, but
at some point you have to say that they're for real, and at some point you have to say that Kurt Warner's for real.
And we're going to have him a couple of weeks from now in San Francisco.
Looking forward to that.
Me too. Schrader puts it down where he wants to and says first down.
Well, he puts it down for a first down. The official comes back and puts it back a little.
But it's still a first down, I think.
Watch Bill Schrader here. This is what you call a hook. You just drive a guy up, drive the defensive back, make him think that you're going up, and then you stop and you hook and you come back towards your quarterback. They're kind of protecting that
they
ball.
are.
I like this, when the official gets down on one knee and puts one hand on the ball.
One knee equals 2 feet.
Yeah, but you can see that it's in front of it.
Yeah.
But the official ones come from the other side. You can see all the way up here that it's in front of it.
Yeah. Well, they didn't ask us.
Well, he wanted to work on his mechanics of the, one knee, one hand, protecting the ball.
It was a very good stance.
Yeah.
Thank you.
First and 10. The Bears lead the Packers 7-3. We're in the second quarter, and the clock's running with 6:45 left before the half. Favre 11. Brett Favre faked a pass after he handed off. Goes back to high school days.
Well, that's Brett Favre.
Yeah.
One thing that I noticed about Brett Favre in the last 3 or 4 weeks, he's not having fun anymore.
Not as much fun.
And I kind of mentioned that yesterday to him, but you watch him play, and the one thing watching he and the Packers play over the years, you always felt there was still a game to him, and he was just out there and playing and having fun. And in the last 3 or 4 weeks, I haven't felt that he's been having fun.
To Thomason, the tight end, the backup tight end, or the second tight end. He's not really a backup.
Well, he's having a little more success throwing those short passes to Jeff Thomas. And, the interception that he threw down there was the one he tried to get to Tyrone Davis. And I think that he thinks that Thomason more of, the short, the control, the possession type. And then he thinks of Tyrone Davis in the big play. He tried to go to the touchdown to Tyrone Davis. Tyrone Davis beat the linebacker, but it was Chris Hudson, the free safety, that Brett Favre didn't see.
3 wideouts this time. Blitz coming. They picked it up. To Freeman. No handle.
Oh, and that's the type of thing, as great a receiver as Antonio Freeman is, this is one of his problems he's always had. He will drop the ball. And Brett Favre knows it there. He saw him. He had Freeman in the slot. Freeman breaks free. He hits him perfectly on the run, and Antonio Freeman drops the ball.
And Green Bay has to punt. Milburn back deep. Aguiar to punt it. Good kick. Milburn will have a chance with it. Packer coverage is good as they're down to stop him at the 20. Jim Nelson down quick. 7-3. A minute ago about Brett Favre having fun playing the game. Walter Payton had fun. Miller to Enos. First down Bears. That's a good run.
Yeah, and that's what he's looking forward, for. He had a lot of big runs this year and hasn't really broken anything. He's coming off that reconstructive knee surgery. When Dick Duran first took over the Chicago Bears, Curtis Enos weighed 260 pounds. And now he's down and playing at 225 pounds. But he still doesn't really feel comfortable with that knee.
I'm sure that looked that big either.
No, and I will. But from 260 to 225 pounds. He's still a big running back.
Yeah.
And I've always felt that when you have that big knee surgery, that any running back doesn't come back until the second year after the knee surgery. And then he can be back as good as he ever was if he doesn't get hurt in that first year.
And one of the best things he did was lose all that weight. That makes the surgery and the recovery much more quick.
And it probably gives him some quickness, although you don't see it a lot on the field yet. Miller.
Loss of about 4 by Vaughn Booker.
And James Williams was doing a good job as right tackle. You can't blame him. It's going to look as a sack, and you're going to see that Williams was a right tackle. But watch him over here. He really does a pretty good job on Booker. You see he has him, he has him, he has him. And Miller just runs right into that sack.
Billy Lyon was the other Packer.
Williams was saying that this is the first time that he's played against the Green Bay Packers, and Reggie White wasn't there. First time he played the Packers and didn't have to play against Reggie.
That has to be a pleasant thought. Here's Miller. Deep and picked off by Sharper. Darren Sharper at midfield. Gives the Packers another chance with 3:15 left before halftime.
And Miller's just throwing interceptions here. If Brooks is down, but that was double coverage because Mike McKenzie is underneath. You're going to see him out here. Here's McKenzie. He's underneath. You see in Sharper's deeper. It's a little hook and go. But you see they really had him doubled. I mean, they had him short and they had him deep. If he throws it short, McKenzie's going to get it. If he throws it a little over, then Darren Sharper's going to get it. He threw it over, and Sharper got it.
Nobody hit Brooks, whatever happened to him. He just slipped on the turf.
You talked about this being a new turf.
Yeah.
It was used for the first time last Monday night. Look at the turnovers for these two teams. The Bears with that turnover because this is up to date now. You don't know what's going on in the rest of the league, but right now they lead the league in turnovers.
Watch number 83. Brooks, nobody hits him.
You're going to see here, you see, here he has a guy underneath, and here's Sharper coming here, and you see the ball there, so they really have him short and deep, and by the time he looks back, the ball is already intercepted, and I think that he just twisted his hand.
Yeah,
he's not even looking back. Now he finally looks. By the time he looks, the ball is overthrown and in Sharper's hand. He got hurt when he hit the ground.
I think he did.
But he wasn't hit by a Green Bay Packer. He was covered well by the problem we have with our knees is they bend this way and they should bend that way.
I think mine bends both ways. Favre. This is Bill Schrader. First down gain by Brett Favre to Schrader.
Well, Terry Cousin was out there, and he was on him, and I think he fell down. They are having, we're talking about this field, and the Bears seem to be having a little problem with it because Cousins slipped on that one as Schrader beat him on the out.
17-yard pickup. Favre again. Quick to Bradford. Knocked backwards, but it got about 4 or 5.
Ray Rhodes was talking about Corey Bradford, and he got hit so hard he knocked his socks off. That was
Freeman, yeah. Sorry.
But the thing is, Freeman, remember that last play that he had? It just went right through his hands, and at least he didn't get hit that time. But this time he comes out here and he catches that, and they really stop him there, and then he takes that hit from the back. I'll tell you, that'll straighten your sinuses out.
And knock your socks off. Freeman caught it.
Yeah, that's
for a loss to Freeman.
Well, he came right back to that one that Freeman dropped earlier. Remember that last third down play? It was the same place. I mean, Antonio Freeman's out here. He just runs a slant right in there. The last time he threw it, it went right through his hand. That time, Brett Favre came right back with the same play, the same spot, and Freeman catches it for a first down.
First down at the 20. This is Levin. To about the 16. Stopped by Walt Harris.
Dorsey Levins doesn't look like he's pulled the cork yet today, has he? He looks kind of tentative running there, and I know, at some point you can say, well, there's no holes for him, there's no blocking, but at some point you have to make your own holes. I mean, at some point you say, okay, there's none there, and you just square your shoulders, turn it up, and go get you something. And Dorsey Levins doesn't seem to be doing that yet today. And we talked about how he really never does well in the first half, but he does do well in the second half.
This is a Green Bay timeout. means they have two. From the Bear 16.5-yard line, two tight ends set up for Green Bay. Far drop. Tyrone Davis to about the 3.
Yeah, it was interesting, Pat, as you said, two tight ends. They had them lined up both on the same side. Thomason is going to go deep. If you look, here's Tyrone Davis. Thomason goes deep. Tyrone Davis is going to come here and come underneath, and Brett Favre is going to hit him right there. You would think just the opposite. But see, Thomason goes deep. See Tyrone Davis, he comes out, stops, goes back underneath, and Favre hits him.
Hit by Sean Harris before he got back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, and the Bears have done a good job of reading that one, you know, because we always talk about down here you have to get penetration. Now you think the penetration can come from the defensive line, or in that case it can also come from the linebacker. Sean Harris that time was on what they call a run blitz, and he was in that hole before Dorsey Levens got a chance.
This is also a Green Bay timeout. So they have one left.
Well, he wants to go over there and get the play. You know, they know that they're going to have a couple of plays here. You can see Tyrone Davis, he was holding his hand there. And, you know, and pro football, when you get the ball, you're going to draw a crowd. And when you draw a crowd, you're going to get hit. And when you get hit, you're going to have stuff you have to shake off once in a while.
Second and goal. Favre. The fade pattern incomplete. And no flag. Tyrone Davis, the intended receiver. Chris Hudson on the coverage.
Now remember, Tyrone Davis was a wide receiver at Virginia. They made him a tight end, but they still like to split him out. And that's exactly what they did. They split him out like a wide receiver, and that was a perfect pass. He did a little jump there. Now he's limping.
Yep.
But he should have run right through that thing. If he would have just continued to run, he could have caught that for a touchdown.
I wonder if there's anything in his case that might be hurting him playing every play.
Oh, yeah. It's a heck of a lot harder.
Favre to Davis. And he got it right in the basket. And Davis made the catch with a man draped on him.
Yeah, that was one of those fade stop things. They tried to run the fade to Tyrone Davis, and that didn't work, so they came back with a fade stop. Watch him. He's just going to run like he's going up again, and then he's going to stop short. And they just said Brett Favre just hit it right in the old bread basket. You talk about a fastball. Watch this. He just zoomed it in there. There's nothing the defense can do on that
He was
play.
limping the whole time during the pattern.
Yeah, there's nothing he could do about it except score a touchdown.
That's right.
He just kind of waddled down there, turned, stopped, and the old fastball hit him.
Longwell gets the extra point. The juggling hold. And Packers have the lead 10-7. Don't forget it's live bass fishing like you've never seen it before. One for the. I think you have a point. I don't know if it's a good point or not, but it's a point. 10-7. The Packers just took the lead.
But one thing that the Bears have to think right now is 10-7. They're not in bad shape.
No.
You know, they have their third quarterback in there. He's a little shaky. The last thing he wants to do right now is to throw another one of these interceptions. He's already thrown two. He's really thrown three, but there was a penalty on one. So I think they just want to hand off something here and calm him down and go in and get a drink. Drink of water, you know, kind of freshen up a little. Oh, shit.
Curtis Enos. First down run.
Yep, they got the first down. Now they're going to take a timeout. Tyrone Davis going in early. He may as well go in, and any treatment he's going to get on his hand or leg, get it, because the Packers won't knock out. You would just run the clock out.
Wouldn't you take a shot?
Well, I wouldn't run the clock out.
Would you?
Yeah.
Juggle the snap.
That's why.
Almost
This guy's
intercepted by Anthony Davis.
This Jim Miller's going to kill him. That's why I would have run out the clock, because, I mean, he had trouble getting the snap, and then he kind of bobbles the snap. Like I say, he's already thrown a couple interceptions. That's the only thing that have kept the Packers in the game. Then he gets back here, and he
No wonder he bobbled the snap. It almost went by him. 2nd and 10. Miller. Pass is complete for a second to Ryan Wetnight, and he's slow getting up.
And he led him right into Darren Sharper.
Oh, did he ever?
I mean, that's the quarterback. I mean, there's nothing that Wetnight can do about that. He has to run there. The quarterback has to see that. Darren Sharper's just sitting back there waiting for it. You watch Wetnight come up here. Now watch 42 come in right here. And that's a quarterback's fault. I mean, the quarterback led Wetnight right into Sharper. I mean, that's one that, you know, obvious. I mean, it's very obvious that every time someone throws an interception, you say it shouldn't have been thrown. But anytime there's a collision like that inside, that also shouldn't have been thrown.
And a collision in sight like that.
You just watch. I mean, he just led Wetnight right into Sharper.
Ryan Wetnight is still down.
Yeah, and you see, this is what you see. You see when he throws that ball, he's leading it. I mean, you can see the convergence on it and exactly what's going to happen.
Well, you know that one of those 3 Packers is going to get a hit on him.
Well,
it's 3rd down and 10. And 8 seconds left. Now will they just run it out? I don't think so.
Well, no, yeah, they should just run it out.
But they're not going to.
Yeah, I think they will.
The pass is caught. Not enough for a 1st down. Dwayne Bates made the catch. That's enough. 1 second left. Timeout, Chicago.
I don't know why they took a timeout. Because that's gonna
they won't take a shot.
They want to take one more shot. That brings up, and they get another play.
So the Bears, here comes Brett Favre. The Bears will kick off to the Packers to begin the 2nd half. Damon Parker and Desmond Howard are back. Chris Boniol is the kickoff man, and he doesn't get the ball usually past about the 8 or 10 yard line.
And that's about where Desmond Howard is lined up right now. You see Brett Favre over there on the sideline trying to warm that hand up. He said that's the toughest thing he has to do is to keep it warm and then stretch it out, because the two go hand in hand.
That's going to be Damon Parker. He gets out to the 25. The Bears are down in good shape to cover it. 10-7. The Packers leading.
You know, one of the things the Bears talked about is they're not worried about Brett Favre out of the pocket anymore. And although you see that most of his passes were in the pocket, 12 out of 17 in the 1st half. Out of the pocket, he was 3 for 4 and 19 yards and 1 touchdown. So they've kind of kept him in the pocket, and maybe that's Brett Favre wanting to stay in the pocket.
Let's see what he wants to do now at 1st and 10. Give the ball to Dorsey Levin, who pops it to the outside and picks up about 6. That's enough to make the stop.
It was in the 1st half that Dorsey Levens doesn't look like he's pulled the cork in the 1st half, and the 2nd half is when he usually does pull the cork. You see, and he starts in here, and he's going to go in the middle, and there's not a thing there. I mean, that is a complete run stuff in there, but he bounces out to the outside, and then he finds something out there and gets about 7 or 8 yards. But he ran right into Mike Wells. I mean, Mike Wells stuffed that inside.
2nd and 3. Favre drop. Favre started to throw, then the man was covered. He pulled it back down, and Jim Flanagan
and that's
takes
where
it down.
that's where Brett Favre has been getting in trouble, because he has a tough time with that grip. But he said the thing that he has to do, you see here, he comes there now, he brings the ball back, and then right here he's going to put his other hand on it. You see, that's the thing. He said he's been having so much trouble. He said just because he's leaving it out there with one hand. But you see what he did when Flanagan was just about there, he took that other hand and said, okay, I'm going to take a sack, but I'm not going to take a fumble.
Jim Flanagan went to high school here in Green Bay. Here's Favre. He hits it up the middle to Corey Bradford, and he moves into Bear territory at the 45, stopped by Parrish.
Yeah, I was just going to mention Corey Bradford and saying that Brett Favre hasn't, in the first half, didn't throw one ball over 15 yards. And you think the guy that he's going to throw it to over 15 yards is Corey Bradford. Here, they just let him go in a zone, and he just gets the field. You don't have to raise your hand. I mean, all you receivers out there, if you're open in the zone, you don't have to raise your hand.
When you have a quarterback's going to see you.
The quarterback will find you if you're wide open. If you're not, don't raise your hand anyway.
Levin. Spinning past the 40.
Yeah, good block by Marco Rivera that time. You know, we talked about earlier that Rivera made a, pulled and made a block, and it was a hole. That time he's going to pull, and he's going to make a pretty good block. Watch him here, number 62. You see, he's right, and then right there, you see, he makes that block, and then Dorsey Levin is able to run right off of Marco Rivera's block.
2nd and 4. 2 tight ends set up. Again, it's Levin. Yard and a half, so short of a first down.
You know, there is something to that, though, that Dorsey Levin's first half, second half. I mean, he just looks like a different guy in the second half.
Yeah.
I mean, he has more bounce in him. He looks like he has more power in him. He looks like he has more determination, and maybe he takes the first half just to get a feel of the game.
Well, we did the Indianapolis-Dallas game last year. They were saying the same thing about Edgerrin James, that he didn't get started till the second half.
Yeah, they've tried everything with him. Maybe even tried to get him out 2 hours early to warm up.
Here's Levins again. He doesn't get much this time. Stopped short of the first down by Barry Minter.
Yeah, Barry Minter. Mike Wells is in there. They're tough right in here. I mean, they get the penetration right there. You have to get some movement. If you don't get movement on that line in there, and then you see they have Wells right here. He was coming to the inside, and then Minter can take that other inside.
4th down and 4, and they're going for it, and Favre's going to throw it. He does, and has a man over Thomason. The ball went out of bounds. He had possession, I believe. And if he did, if they say that he did, that's the first down.
I'll tell you, that's a gutsy thing. That's the Brett Favre that we've known for years. Here it is, 4th down. They go for it, and it's not a run. He just makes a play, comes rolling out there, finds Thomason. He has control.
Did he?
Yeah, I think he does have control. See, he has to have control when both feet come down. I don't know. That's a rule. You have to have control with both feet down. I don't know that the Bears shouldn't review this, though.
I think they might.
They are going to review that.
Basil Mitchell has come in the game at tailback.
Look at everything he has. That's a big play because it was a 4th down play.
4th and 4.
And if it's incomplete, then the Bears get the ball. It's not. The Packers have first down.
The ruling on the field was a completion and then a fumble forward out of bounds. Upon reviewing the play, the receiver did not have clear possession when his second foot hit an incomplete pass. The challenge is upheld, and there is no timeout charged to Chicago.
And you were right, Pat.
Come that timeout back also.
They get both timeouts back.
Yep, he said that the timeout was taken to have the review, so he gave them both of them back. We saw That happened a couple weeks ago where they took a timeout, and then they took a challenge, and they charged them. They lost the challenge. They charged them 2 timeouts.
Yep. So it's the Bear ball back up.
The game clock to 11 minutes and 2 seconds. 11:02 on the game clock, please.
At about the 40-yard line, where it was 4th and 4 for the Packers.
And that was a big challenge for
Dick
Duran and the Bears, because, as we say, that was 4th down. And instead of the Packers, the ruling on the field would have had the Packers down here with a 1st down. Now the Bears have the ball with a 1st down on the 40. And you were right. That's the thing he said, that when that second foot came down, he didn't have control then.
That's what I thought. I don't think he ever had control. Whatever. Enos picks up about 4.
Yeah, that's not bad, getting 4 yards when you don't block the middle linebacker when you run inside.
Not bad.
They didn't block Bernardo Harris. They ran inside. The reason they don't. Watch Gilbert Brown here. See, they double him. So now that's going to free Bernardo Harris. Now they can run Gilbert Brown right out of the play, but in doubling Gilbert Brown, they don't block Bernardo Harris.
2nd and 5, Enos again. Bends to the 35. That's about the line of scrimmage. So it's going to bring up a passing down for the Bears.
Gary Croton is the offensive coordinator of these Bears, and he has a tough time. You know, he's putting in a new offense and this year, and a new coaching staff, and then having to do it with your 3rd quarterback is very, very difficult, because he likes mixture. He likes packages. He likes a lot of this empty backfield. 3 receivers down here, 2 receivers up there, no one in the backfield but the quarterback. And that's tough to do with a 3rd quarterback.
Miller completes the pass to Ingram. He spun back, but he got enough yards for 1st.
And that's the first pass that Bobby Ingram has caught. Marcus Robinson, Bobby Ingram, the 2 starting wide receivers hadn't caught a pass until right here. And here's Ingram. He's just going to run the out, and he knows where that 1st down marker is, and Jim Miller hits him right there. That's one of the things they probably talked about at halftime, is let's get some slots done.
That's James Allen, who's knocked backwards. And you better go back to the slot stuff.
He got knocked backwards and airborne. Did you see him? They just, before they threw him down, they just picked him up. Vaughn Booker was in there. Bernardo Harris was in there again. Watch him. He has his tight end leading in there, and watch it. They just take both feet right out of the ground. He's making a cut. But I'll tell you, well, they helped him take both feet out of the ground by lifting him out of the ground.
Milburn now is the deep back. And he's got the Bear touchdown on a play like this. Bonnie Holiday put the squash on Milburn.
And Bonnie Holiday looked like he was in the Bear huddle on that one, because he just ran right up the field where Milburn was going. Watch Bonnie Holiday here. He's just going to run right up here as Milburn comes out here. He just runs right up the field, and no one blocks him. Now, if you don't block Bonnie Holiday and you try and run at him, he's going to get you.
He just cuts behind the pulling guard.
You see, and then the late, I don't know if the receiver was supposed to block him or not, but that had to be a missed assignment. You don't run around Bonnie Holiday and not block him.
3rd and 16. Here's Miller. Pass complete. Ingram did not get the 1st down, however.
This will be an interesting decision here, and the decision will be, do you go for it on 4th down or do you punt? I mean, it's too far. It would be a 57-yard field goal. So do you punt or go for it?
I think they're going for it.
They've already made their decision. They're going to go for it.
Dick Duran, very quiet, but a history major. At Ivy League school, a Yale graduate. Very sharp.
This is a tough running situation against the Packers.
Yep. The man in motion slipped down. They don't get it.
I don't know. They're still playing.
Enos kept going.
I think they did get it at the end. they didn't have it right away, and then that pile just kept going.
Yeah.
Someone just kept driving and driving and driving, and
They did get it.
that is the first down.
Yeah.
They were still playing. I think some of the Packers thought that they didn't get it and it was over, and they just kept driving. He just kept driving and driving and driving.
No, I didn't hear any whistle, did you?
No. Watch Big Cat Williams, 71, just pushing and pushing, pushing that file. He got everything going back there. Todd Perry was there with him. He just played until the whistle blew.
First down, Bears. Shotgun. Miller drops. Pass is caught. Close to another Bear first down. That by Marcus Robinson.
I think that's the first pass Robinson has caught. I mean, this is in the first half, neither one of the starting wide receivers caught a pass. Ingram just caught one from the slot. Robinson just cuts one right here. See what Miller did then? He had a blitz coming from his left side, and he felt it, and he was able just to take a couple steps to the right and then hit Marcus Robinson.
You can tell Jim Miller's been around a little bit.
He didn't look like it in the first half.
No, but now he does.
Well, he's getting a little feel of the game now.
That's Enos. Bouncing down to about the 15. Don't forget, coming up tonight, 9/8 Central, The X-Files, the season premiere. New seasons begin tonight at 9 here on Fox.
These Bears are scrappy.
Yeah, they are.
They just keep hanging in there, getting a play here and there.
Miller. Ingram. Quick flip out to the flanker outside behind three blockers, or two blockers.
We talked about Gary Croton, the offensive coordinator who calls the plays here for the Bears. He's made some pretty good halftime adjustments, because that this guy Robinson didn't get the ball, that Ingram didn't get the ball, that some of these quick things. So he started doing them, and he started changing them. And some of the things that he didn't do in the first half, he's coming out and doing now on this drive in the second half.
And as Ray Rhodes said yesterday, the quarterback spits it out of there quickly. That's Enos over the right side, down to maybe the 9. And the ball came loose. The Packers saying they've got it. Bonnie Holiday was signaling. So was Vaughn Booker.
The ball was stripped.
And so was Keith McKenzie.
Keith McKenzie.
There's the Packer ball. Enos, the ball carrier.
And there's McKenzie. You see what
ripped it out.
Enos was going down. He wasn't down yet, and the whistle probably didn't go. And Keith McKenzie just comes in there and strips the ball right out of Curtis Enos' hand.
Packers take over. The Bears have 4 turnovers today. Packers have 1. Bears lead the league in turnovers. Here's Favre. Scampering for the sidelines. Cut down about the 15 by Ricardo McDonald.
Yeah, now Favre is starting to look like Favre again. I didn't feel on Monday night that it looked like Brett Favre at all out there. I didn't feel the game we did in Denver that Brett Favre looked like Brett Favre, but here he does. I mean, here he's seeing, he's running, he's pointing the guys. I mean, he doesn't complete a pass or anything, but he's starting to look a little more like Brett Favre than he has in the last month.
Favre to Levens. And now for another update, let's return to James Brown in Los Angeles.
Pat and John, Charlie Batch back to Pat Summerall and John Madden.
Back at Lambeau Field, it's 3rd and 4, Green Bay at their own 16. Incomplete. looking to Bradford, who was tangled up with a Bear defender.
And then Brett Favre, after he looked at Bradford and threw it to him, he looked at the official and he wanted a penalty on that. You see, Bradford couldn't get inside. The defender was in there, didn't let him get inside because he took away the inside position. I don't think that's pass interference.
No.
I think that's good defense.
Walt Harris.
Yeah, Walt Harris, he lined up on the inside, so it's tough to run a slant when a corner lines up inside on you.
Aguiar. Milburn signals full catch at the 45, makes it there.
Hands full today with the Chicago Bears here.
Not dominating the Bears. The catch is made by Marcus Robinson. Stayed in bounds, and that's a heck of an effort.
And there wasn't much Tyrone Williams could do about that. I mean, Jim Miller throws a perfect pass here to Marcus Robinson. He gets him on the outside, which is where you want to get. Robinson pushes off just a little, and he turns and catches the ball at highest point. See, he gets a little push there, and then he gets up. Just as Williams looks back, he helps him with the push, and that gives him enough separation.
James Allen, the deep back, starts in motion. Miller looks and throws downfield and throws it over everybody. Out of the end zone, Marcus Robinson, again, the intended receiver.
That was an interesting play. They had Bobby Ingram was right on the line of scrimmage. So he faked it out to Ingram short, and then he tried to get the deep one into Robinson. Watch how this works out here. You see, he comes out here into motion, and then motion goes to the right. Now Ingram is going to stop right here. See, and he fakes out to him and then throws deep to Robinson. We used to run that play. We used to run that play in high school.
Curtis Enos down to about the 16. Enos running hard.
Well, he picked up that big fourth down by running hard, gotten a big push, and then he was down here before when he got stripped, and that was by working, that extra effort by running hard and those kinds of things. And then that time he kept both hands on the ball.
Ryan Wetnight comes into the game for the Bears. Enos, something's wrong with his chin strap.
It looks like he needs that whole hat fixed.
Yep. So Edgar Bennett replaces him. 3rd and 4. Out quickly and complete to Bennett. And he's close to a first down. I think he got it.
I think he has the first down. If you see, the foot is on the other side of that marker, the official's foot. See, Jim Miller, he just comes out there and just throws that ball. That's a heck of a play by Edgar Bennett.
Yeah.
And then Edgar Bennett knows, too. He knows where the marker is. You see, he sees that red flag there, knows that he has to get the ball out in front because it's where the ball is when it goes out.
It's a first down. Miller drops it out to Ryan Wetnight. Jude Waddy knocked him out of bounds.
Wetnight feels a lot better about that one than he did this one. Remember just before the halftime?
Yep.
They would let Wetnight right in there to Darren Sharper. And then Wetnight got all cleared up. He's back in there catching the ball now. And I'll tell you, Jim Miller, I think, in the second half, I think he's perfect, isn't he?
I think so. 2nd and 5.
Incomplete pass was that one to Robinson there. I think every other pass this half, he's been complete. He's come out of whatever adjustment he's made, whatever the adjustment the coaching staff has made, the Bears have something going now. You see, he looks to the right, brings that safety over, and then he goes right back to Bobby Ingram running a short corner in the end zone.
Another perfect throw.
You see what he did to that safety, though? By looking right, he took all that defense right, and he had true 1-and-1 to his left side.
Bone yells, extra point is good.
He got the outside, he got a step on him, and kept that step all the way to the corner.
Bonio, short kick. Fielded by Henderson. Up at about the 30-yard line. Packers.
Walter Payton told me the favorite play that he could ever have is block a linebacker and his quarterback throw a touchdown pass.
Not many people would say that blocking, especially not many running backs, would say that blocking was their favorite thing.
There weren't many running backs like Walter Payton either, were there?
You're so right. That's the end of the third quarter with the score of the Bears 14.
They have a fifth quarter, and the Wisconsin band plays after the game.
I think we stayed for that one time, didn't we?
I'll tell you, it's worth staying for. And you'll see at the end of this game, you'll wonder no matter what happens why the stands are still so full.
Yeah.
Because the Wisconsin marching band plays a quarter. They play for 15 more minutes. And I'll tell you, that is as good as it gets.
It really is.
If you want to see marching bands, you watch this Wisconsin marching band, and it is something to behold.
They can really play.
And I have a couple times just stayed.
Yeah, we have. I know.
Sat and watched the fifth quarter.
Third and 8. Favre. That's Schrader who gets the first down, and that's a good throw from Brett Favre.
You know, one thing about the Packers offense, it's like they really haven't adjusted all year. I mean, here's Schrader out here. He's gonna run it out, and Brett Favre just hits him just as he makes that move. But Paul Harris was playing a little off him. But you don't get the feeling that they've ever really gotten in sync where they can. And Ray Rhodes was talking about it yesterday too, where they can just take the ball and just move it and get first downs and touchdowns and play the game offensively the way you're supposed to.
That's Dorsey Levens. He's across our yellow line, which they can't see, but you can.
And he brought a load on this one. I mean, this is the thing that Dorsey Levens takes and finishes off the run. I mean, see, he starts there. There's nothing to his left. He breaks back to the right. And just watch how he finishes off. When boom, he just unloaded and got about another 2 yards.
First and 10 Packers at the Bear 43. Favre drops. Across the middle. Pass caught. That's Antonio Freeman.
You know, Brett Favre and that thumb and that hand is never going to heal all year. And, you know, and he's talked about that, you know, just playing. I mean, you got to practice all the time. So, you know, you're out there every day gripping the ball. And just the trauma. Just watch the snap here when he gets up there under center. And see, he has to put his right hand up under the center.
Yeah.
And then that ball has to be snapped or slapped up right into that right hand.
Pass complete out of bounds.
What the heck was that?
Dorsey Levens.
Now that's not being alert. I mean Dorsey Levens has been playing too long to know that you don't run a pass pattern out of bounds. And when you get close to that boundary, you either have to stop, you have to go back, or you have to go up. But you can't continue going out. Now watch, he comes out here, and he just keeps running right out of bounds. I mean, you have to feel that thing. And that sideline, I mean, at any level, that sideline has to stop you.
Well, you don't throw it to a guy out of bounds either, do you?
Well, that's the other thing, but you think that the guy's not going to run out of bounds. And we talked about, you know, this field being crowned.
Yeah. Here's Favre scrambling, gets it to Henderson, and Henderson rambles down inside the 15. William Henderson. They say, everybody you ask say he's playing better this year than maybe he has ever had.
Well, he didn't play very well last year,
he
so
didn't.
That's a big part of it. And if Dorsey Levens makes a block for him down here, he scores a touchdown. But this is what Brett Favre does so well. You know, scramble, make a play. You see, if he gets a block right down there, see Dorsey Levens standing there, what are you going to do there? He's not going to lateral to you. You don't need anyone in position for a fumble. You block someone and you get a touchdown. Well, he's the one.
Incomplete. Flag. Intended for Freeman. Favre down.
These are the tough ones to call because on that one, Pat, it looked like both of them were pushing. Both offense and defense.
Wall is playing left guard.
Brett Favre got knocked down and is still down. They just
There are
got
2
him.
fouls on the play.
2 flags.
Both of them on the offense. Illegal hands to the face of number 68 is declined. Pass interference on the offense. Number 86 is accepted. 10 yards. First down.
And we did see that push in the end zone, and like I said, you know, it looked like both of them were pushing because Antonio Freeman was pushing there. You see the ball was in the air. Oh, yeah. I mean, Walt Harris had great position on it. In fact, what happened is Walt Harris really became the offensive guy, and Antonio Freeman became the defensive guy.
See him pointing to himself? Push me down.
He did, and then again, the reason he pushed him down is because that was great coverage by Walt Harris by getting that position on Antonio Freeman.
First and 20. Screen past 11. Down to the 18. Shane Burton on the tackle.
Yeah, that's what we're seeing every week, and we talked about earlier. Shane Burton, a defensive lineman, you know, turns and comes on those screens, and the rule is that they're all doing now in the National Football League is if a color is in front of you, you turn and peel. And they let one guy rush. The closest guy to the quarterback on the screen keeps rushing. The rest of the guys turn and go towards the catcher of the screen.
Second down, 3 wide receiver setup. Barr drops to throw it. Incomplete. But Sean Harris knocked it down.
Yeah, Sean Harris had a good read on that one, and that's why he's so upset because, you know, Brett Favre throws the ball so hard that sometimes it becomes an advantage on an interception. You just watch Sean Harris. That ball is thrown so hard it just goes right through it because he was in, I mean, that's one Brett Favre shouldn't have thrown. That was good coverage, and Sean Harris was just in the zone back there. But the ball was thrown so hard that if these guys could catch that pass, they wouldn't be defensive players anyway.
They'd be wearing a number in the 80s for sure. Third and 14. The pressure is far, but the pass is caught by Bradford. And as they say, he's one of those guys who, when he's in the game, something happens.
And the Packers have to kick a field goal here. It's going to be fourth down. They're going to be short, but they have plenty of time left. I know that, you know, you look and you say, well, you know, you ought to go for the, you know, fourth down, try and pick it up here. But the percentage play is, and the play that they're going to do, and what I think is the right play is kick the field goal here because with 11 minutes, you got plenty of time.
26-yard attempt by Ryan Longwell. And the kick is good.
We'll talk about toughness, attitude, and heart. That's Walter Payton. Just watching him on the sidelines was inspiring.
Most valuable player in 1977. Most valuable player perhaps a lot more times than that.
Remember that 1985 Bear team that we did so many of their games that year, and that was one of the most fun years that I ever had in football. Look at this series note here. 67 of the 156 games have been decided by 7 points or less, and the average margin of victory is 1.4 points.
That's over 78 years.
And that's the kind of game we have, and the score is 14-13. That kind of holds up.
Glenn Milburn. Yes, tonight is definitely the night for the season premiere of The X-Files. That's tonight. First and 10 at their own 27. Bears with Jim Miller, the quarterback. Miller going deep. Incomplete.
I'll tell you, Jim Miller sure got the feel in their second half. In the first half, I mean, he came out and it didn't look like he was sure what the heck was going on. 3 out of 11 for 22 yards, 3 interceptions, and I thought at the halftime they just ought to go on in and regroup, and they did. And then look, 8 out of 10, 83 yards and a touchdown pass in the second half. I mean, that's 2 different guys. We saw Jim Miller A, and then we see Jim Miller B in this second half.
Here's Miller B. Pass caught. And right now for an update, let's
Compilation back to Pat and John.
And the Bears holding 8-point lead at Lambeau Field over Green Bay. He just picked up a first down. Miller gives to Enos. And he's still driving with his feet and trying to get more.
I'll tell you, that's one thing that Curtis Enos does, is he does have good leg drive. I think that, he doesn't have all his movement back. I remember seeing him at Penn State, and I thought this guy's going to be one of the greatest backs ever, and then he had that knee injury, and he doesn't have the movement back. I think he still looks like he has some power, but he doesn't have the movement that is going to allow him to break a big one yet.
He says he still has pain after the game and after practice, and it's probably going to stay with him, he says, for the rest of his career. Enos again, behind Allred. And there goes that pile moving again.
There's Santana Dotson. He was flopping around there. Roy Butler, he's always up in there in the action. I mean, this is really something. They just slam in. They get a good double right there, and that gives them the free movement. But again, in getting the good double team, they don't block the middle linebacker, Bernardo Harris, and he's the guy that starts to get him to go down.
They can't get Enos down. They need 4 for a first. Miller. The throw is caught complete. Close by Bobby Ingram. I think he has a first down.
That's a first down. I mean, that's where the officials mark it as well beyond the first down marker here. One thing I like about Jim Miller is he's getting back there quickly and getting rid of the ball. I mean, the ball is coming out of there. Ingram knows exactly where that first down marker is, and he goes for it, and Miller hits him right there.
Well, that's what Ray Rhodes was saying yesterday. They spit it out of there quick.
Yeah, and he wasn't even talking about Jim Miller. He was talking about Shane Matthews.
Miller finds an open man. That's Marcus Robinson, and Robinson gets the first down as he moves things down into Packer territory.
Two things that really haunted the Packers this year that are unlike Packers is, one, drop passes on offense and missed tackles on defense. I mean, part of this, he's a big receiver, he's all that, but there's a couple of missed tackles that should never happen. If you play defense in this league, you got to be a tackler.
James Allen is the deep back this time. Allred was the man in motion. This is Allen flashing into the secondary, picked up about 8. Darren Sharper made the stop.
One thing that's very impressive about these Bear running backs is they all run hard.
And they all get on with it in a hurry.
They get in there, they get that ball, and they get run through, and they just take it. Watch Allen here. I mean, they just wham it in there. I mean, they make some moves to get to the point that they can, and then whether they're going forwards or backwards, they really uncoil at the end of their run.
Enos is the deep back this time, and he gets the carry. He scoots down close to a first down.
He's a tough guy.
Yep.
He's just fighting for those yards. Look at these guys. Enos has 18 for 85 yards. Milburn carried the ball 3 times for 54 yards, and he got the touchdown. Allen 4 times for 17 yards. Edgar Bennett carried it once.
Bonnie Holiday is limping and headed towards the sideline. Hey, one thing, the Bears, they lost badly to Washington, of course, at Louisiana Tech, and joined Dick Duran this year, who brings something from Jacksonville as well. That's the big wide receiver, Marcus Robinson. They look pretty good on this drive.
That's the thing about big wide receivers is that the bumps don't bother them. When you get a corner up there and you try and bump them in that cover 2 and stuff, that doesn't bother them. Plus, the other thing is you can throw them those little short passes, and they could run sometimes like a fullback, like Marcus Robinson just did on that play, and almost get a first down.
And that's an ongoing change that's going on in the NFL now. Bigger wide receivers mean you better get bigger defensive backs. Miller. intended for Allred. Led him just a little too much. He was pretty well covered anyway.
And he, again, you know, anytime a guy stops and dives for the ball like that, you can always say he should have kept running and just run right through that. Look at this drive. They started in their own 27, 10 plays, 57 yards. They've run the ball 4 times, and they've passed it 6. So they're getting good mixture, and it's not only that mixture of run and pass, but also formation. Like here, you see they got the 3 wide receivers out here, 2 on the other side, empty backfield.
Miller, they're going to blitz him. He gets rid of it in a hurry. Incomplete. Ryan Wetnight, the intended target, and here comes Chris Bonio.
Yeah, that's one of the things that the Packers talked about doing is when they do go to that empty backfield to blitz it, because no matter what they do, unless they bring one of the receivers back in, they can only have 5 blockers. So you can, by bringing a 6th guy, you're always going to have a free guy, or just by getting one right or left, you can create an overload and have a free guy.
Bonio. Todd Sauerbrunn is the holder. Bonio. And the field goal is no good. The attempt is no good. 14, Green Bay 13. And it's Packer ball. It's their own 24. Favre looking upfield. Drops it. Incomplete. Intended for Henderson. At the feet of Henderson.
I think Favre dropped it in there, and then Henderson dropped it. And we talked about the woes of the Packers. I mean, this isn't the same Green Bay Packer team that over the years had been so good. This is a Green Bay Packer team that is dropping passes and can't put drives together, is struggling, missing tackles.
Favre. Incomplete. Right now, for an update, let's return to James Brown in Los Angeles.
On that.
We're back at Lambeau, where we have 5:48 left, and the Bears up by a point over the Packers.
The Packers need a 1st down here.
Favre chased, and down goes Brett Favre and lost the ball. Let's see who got it.
That was the thing that he was talking about yesterday. He said he has to protect the ball better. He has to get that other hand around it. We saw him do it earlier, and he didn't do it on that one. Watch him here. You see he has the ball down, and then he tried to get his other hand on it. But I don't know that he did, and lucky there's old Frankie Winters, old bag of donuts, comes in and jumps on that ball and at least saves that part of it for the Packers.
So Aguiar back to punt. Bears will get the ball with about 5 minutes left. Good kick by Aguiar. That's Milburn. That's Milburn down the sideline and out of bounds in Packer territory. Lamont Hall knocked him out of bounds. Except in Chicago, check your local listing. Enos. Have you ever seen live bass fishing?
No, I've never seen it live. I've never seen it taped.
I've been live.
No, I went bass fishing, but we were fishing from the shore, and it was for striped bass, which are a lot bigger than the bass that they're fishing for in this contest.
Right.
Like we used to use that kind of bass for bait.
Largemouth. Miller. Incomplete.
Well, the center, Olin Krutz, did a heck of a job on that. I mean, just to protect Jim Miller, this is a heck of a pickup here. If you just watch here, he's going to come out here and pick up the blitz on the outside. That is a heck of a move. I mean, if he doesn't do that, Jim Miller gets buried.
They might be down to another quarterback.
Right, and that's not, I mean, it was an incomplete pass, but it was still a big play by the center.
3rd down and 10. Blitz again. Packers rise to the occasion again. Milburn made the catch. But Tyrone Williams was right out there.
Yeah, that's not a play if you need, 10, 11 yards. That's not the type of play that you're going to make. I mean, they just throw a loop out there, and the Packers aren't tackling real well today, but they're not going to let a guy run 12 yards there, and Tyrone Williams came up and made a good tackle.
There's Anthony Davis, who was leaving the field holding his right arm. Sauerbrunn back to punt, and deep is Desmond Howard for Green Bay. 3:25 left to play. He's going to hit the ground. Howard saying get away from it.
At some point, you start thinking about the comebacks of the Green Bay Packers here.
And there have been some fantastic ones.
Yeah, look at this is against the Raiders. There was that touchdown pass there. This is against Minnesota. That was the one that we did to Corey Bradford.
This against Tampa. To Freeman.
So that's not the way you want to do it, but you want to be in position to do it rather than lose. And does Brett Favre and this offense have one in them today?
They have 3 timeouts left. A long way to go. And 3:19 left. This one's to Henderson. Outside the 20. Stopped there after he picked up 5.
We were talking about Brett Favre and what he has on that left wrist, and it says check down. And that was what you call a check down there, where you have your receivers out, your tight end out, and then the back just checks through. In fact, he took that wristband off. It says check downs at some point. It's like, patience baloney. I got to get going. Check downs baloney.
Settle down. That's Levens, and he gets the first down. Those of you who watch the Jets beat Arizona, welcome to Lambeau Field, Green Bay. Pat Summerall with John Madden, and the Chicago Bears lead the Packers by 1. It's been an emotional week for the Bears, what with the passing of Walter Payton, and the inspiration that he left. That's to Freeman. We got about 6. 13. Favre drops. Outside to Levens. The touchdowns today, they haven't been that frequent. This was Glenn Milburn for the Bears' first one. A 49-yard run, their longest of the year. That one was self-defense almost. That's for the Packers. This one to Ingram from Miller. Favre to Levens. Today's game is being produced by Bob Stinner and directed by Sandy Grossman. Ron Wolf. Associate directors Mike Roy.
Rivalry like this, and just make something special about it.
Favre gets the ball downfield to Antonio Freeman. That moves it close to Longwell's field goal range.
Yeah, and that's what the Packers have to be thinking of now. I would think that to get in field goal range, they need about 5 more yards to feel comfortable about it.
Otherwise, it would be 50. Levens fell down.
If you look at that 30-yard line there, that would be a 47-yard field goal, because the holder is 7 yards back, and of course the goalpost is 10-yard line from the goal line. So whatever line they're on, you add 17 yards to that.
Just a little past that 30-yard line. Back in the other direction is about as far as Longwell can get it. Incomplete. A flag comes down. A penalty marker down.
Yeah, that was Tom Carter there. Tom Carter was the defender for the Bears.
Here comes Carey.
Pass interference. Defense number 35.
And that'll be an automatic first down, too. So that's a big thing.
Yep. And that gets him in field goal range. That gets him in Longwell's range.
You see, there's Tom Carter right there, and he's holding. He's doing everything. That was that wasn't even close. And when you put his hands out like that, that probably shows that you're guilty.
It attracted more attention.
But anyway, they get a new set of downs now, plus they still have 2 timeouts, so with 56 seconds, that's plenty of time.
Favre looking and throwing to his right to Freeman.
I think right now what they're trying to do is Sherm Lewis, the offensive coordinator for the Packers, is just call safe passing. You know, because you have your field goal now, so now all you want to do is go for the touchdown, try and get the score. But if you don't, you know you have your field goal. But the worst thing you can do is lose your field goal. Look at this. Brett Favre is 6 out of 6 on this drive.
He gives to Levens. Levens comes out of bounds on the other side, stops the clock at about the 23-yard line.
I like that other play better than that one. I mean, where Favre rolls out, where he can either throw the ball or he can run the ball rather than running the ball to Dorsey Levens on a sweep. I think they ought to go back to that same type of play on 3rd down, because I've always thought somewhere here you want to take a shot at a touchdown.
This would be a good time.
I remember once we were playing Baltimore, we were in the same situation. Instead of getting in position for a field goal, I took a shot for a touchdown. We scored the touchdown.
Why not take a tough shot right now? Favre lobs it out of bounds, and there's a flag on the play. That could be another one against the Bears, and it could give the Packers a 1st down. He was looking at Freeman.
And Freeman was down on the ground. It would either fell down, or with the flag, you would probably assume that he was pulled down, because when Favre threw that ball over his head, Antonio Freeman was on the ground. Here's Antonio Freeman right here. I see he was tackled.
Yeah.
That's why he was on the ground. I knew that he was on the ground. You could see that. That was Derry Cousin there.
Just tackled him.
Derry Cousin just tackled him. Brett Favre knew immediately.
On the defense, number 21.
He felt him getting away, and he just tackled him.
Automatic. 1st down.
Now what you want to do here, I think, is throw to the corners of the end zone. I think you take the shot at the touchdown by throwing to the back pylon in the end zone, not throwing anything in the middle of the end zone or in the middle of the field.
1st and 10, 41 seconds left.
Okay, complete.
Ray Rhodes and Dick Duran. 1st-year coaches both. That's Levin. To about the 15.5-yard line.
The Packers have 2 timeouts. Again, if you're going to take a shot, you want to take a timeout right away to take your shot. If not, then you're going to let it be a shot in the end zone. And if I didn't get it, I'd kick the field goal on 3rd down.
Just think back. Of course, you never know what might have been. But the Bears had a shot at the field goal earlier, a short one. They missed it. And in that case, Green Bay would have to score a touchdown here. 11 to about the 12.
They're not thinking of taking a shot. My theory on that was always that if you take a shot at the end zone, you have that chance, plus you have the field goal chance. If you just get in position to kick the field goal,
Think about much.
you just have like an empty head.
Just an empty head, yeah.
It's a hollow head.
That's the only reason you'd ever be a kicker in the first place. You have to have an empty head.
He wanted to get the ball in the middle of the field. See, they had it on the right hash mark. So what they wanted to do is take one more play and get it in the middle of the field.
And now run it down.
So Brett Favre, he took a quarterback sneak to get it in the middle of the field.
Now the old kicker over the empty-headed kicker's thinking, look what they did for me. They got me in the middle.
Oh, Hollowhead comes in now.
Yeah.
This is a pretty old smart Hollowhead, though. He's University of California.
Well,
Brett Favre did his job. I mean, that's, it's another comeback. The Packers aren't the Packers, and Brett Favre's not Brett Favre, but You know, they had to make this drive to get in this position to try this, and they did it.
Well, you know, everybody talks about the kicker and what he does. Davis is the center. That way you make friends with those two guys at least. And the kick is blocked, and what do you think about?
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable is right. Look at Chris Boniol. He knows that he missed. You saw him just saying thank you.
And that's why I'm not second-guessing now, but that's why you take a shot at the end zone before you go for that, because, as you know, nothing is automatic. Boniol there on the sideline, when that thing was blocked, he